Call Shane Reti, Tūnakoi.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It's a pleasure to speak in the third reading of the International Finance Agreements Amendment Bill. This is an excellent bill. This is definitely a bank that we want to be a part of. If we look at the definition of Asia in this agreement, it's actually the United Nations definition of Asia and Pacific, which indicates the breadth of reach that this agreement will actually have, because that definition includes North Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, Central Asia, parts of the Middle East, Australasia and the Pacific. So quite a lot of breadth, Mr Speaker. Quite clearly quite a lot of Asia. Clearly the need is great. The World Bank tells us that $1 trillion are needed in infrastructure in Asia, so there's no question the need's there. A lot of benefits to being a member, to being a part of this bank. The three obvious ones that have been commented are the benefit of being a founding member, that is our ability to influence the direction and best practices that the bank's been able to start with. Secondly, economically, our ability to compete for contracts. And thirdly, the strategic relationship. The cost, has been mentioned, Mr Speaker, is $125 million in paid up. We inquired as to the benefits of that, and we were told, amongst other things, that for what's effectively a 0.6% shareholding, we've already received disproportionate benefits. We're also sort of interested in the security. How secure is that $125 million? And we were told that we have a favourable risk rating, we have preferred creditor status, and then on a ratio of paid up to on-call capital, this looks very favourably to parameters that, say, the World Bank has. So we're quite reassured that that paid up capital is secure. The $500 million on call, I take the point that my colleague Mr Parker was making when he was looking at a cost per unit share. Effectively, he took the $125 million on call and put it together with the paid up and put it together with the $500 million on call. I don't think that's an accurate metric to take, because the likelihood of the on-call being called up is very, very small. Officials were very clear on that. Secondly, it doesn't take into account the time value of money. More specifically, the paid-up capital is paid over 5 years. So I don't think it's quite accurate, but I take the point he was making. The case has been made that membership of this bank is almost to exclusion of other banks, the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank. I don't think that's a correct representation either, because we remain engaged and active shareholders in both of those other banks. I just want to comment that that's not to their exclusion. Now, Mr Speaker, we focused on the economic, the founding member benefits and the strategic benefits to being a part of this agreement. But let's look about the quality of life impact for people in Asia that this bank will have. This is an infrastructure bank. We're not building cars, we're not building ships or planes, it's an infrastructure bank. That means reliable electricity to many people in Asia. This means reliable and clean water. This means roads and telecommunications. And I think lifting these people, or helping them lift from poverty, of course, is a good thing. So I think there's some mission around this bank that's a good thing for us to be a part of. Furthermore, as a founding member, New Zealand's used its founding member status to inject principles of sustainability and some sense of the environment into that. More specifically, we were able to have the word sustainable placed before the words economic development, so it reads sustainable economic development. The committee and the Select Committee only made one change to Clause 9.1, which enabled 19.1 in the agreement, which was around foreign currency restrictions. And that was really about the only discussion we needed to have around core principles towards this agreement within Select Committee. So, Mr Speaker, I'd like to acknowledge the committee chair, Mark Mitchell, for his guidance in this, and other committee members that bring the bill here today to the third reading, and commend it to the House.